I met a starving orphan, 4 a.m., abandoned gas station when I was in Zimbabwe in 2007. I feel like God dropped me in the middle of hell and said, wake up. What struck me was how many folks wanted to make an impact and do something to help, but they just didn't know how. And so we just began to have these conversations here in 2009 about what if everyday ordinary people really help serve these 30 orphans that I had met in Zimbabwe. And that's kind of the genesis of the organization. Hello friends, hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday. I hope it's better weather where you're at than where I'm at because it's still cold here in Raleigh. We want to say thank you for joining us for our 2019 Impact Report release day. This is just a really important moment where we get a chance to pause, eat lunch together, and really celebrate the impact that we have had together across the world last year in 2018. But also we want to share a little bit about the impact that we want to have in the next 10 years around the world. And so today is going to be just a fun time. We have a few stories we're going to share. In a little bit, Janessa will be on a video sharing one of our family empowerment stories. But before we get into all that, we just wanted to pause and really share with you some of the most impactful data that we have had as an organization. To be clear, when we talk about data, we know behind the data, the most important piece of the puzzle is real lives are being changed in the process. So every data point represents an individual created in the image of God, and that individual is living a better life because of your generosity and the impact that Help One Now has had in partnership with our local leaders and because of our generous supporters and donors like you. So really, thank you for being a part of this webcast. It's the first one we've ever done. We don't know how it's going to go. It may be terrible and it may be amazing. But before we get into it, I do want to tell you one thing. We have this massive construction project taking place right across the street. So if you hear background noise, just hang in there with us. We can't help the hammering. It's a little distracting, but we're going to have fun because more important than anything else is we want our donors, our supporters, to really take a moment to understand every time you help us, help our leaders, lives are being changed, and this is that moment where you get to kind of take that gift and accept it because you're the fuel to the fire. So a few data points from last year that I want to share, and they're really, really vital. Help One Now is an organization. This is year 10 officially. We're celebrating. We're in the middle of this transition of celebrating the last 10 years, but also dreaming of the next 10 years. And so 2019 is a transition year. Going back to 2018, just some really, really powerful stories have taken place across the Help One Now ecosystem, and I want to share some of the data with you today. First of all, we hit 3 million as an organization in revenue for the first time last year. Now let's be honest, no one cares about $3 million, right? That's just a number. But behind that number, guess what has happened? Over 170,000 people have been impacted because of the $3 million in revenue. 65,000 of that 170 have been impacted every single day in the Help One Out ecosystem, led by our leaders, not by us, all over the world. I want you to just take a moment and just be thankful that your generosity, your commitment, and your sacrifice, you're now a part of the story where so many lives are being transformed because of your generosity. It's phenomenal. Thank you for being a part of that story. Each and every day we often wonder, are we making a difference in the world? And every time we release our impact report, it's a chance for me to look at the data and realize real humans are being transformed because of the work that we're doing together. So thank you for that number. One thing I wanted to share with you, and this is something I'm so excited about, is we have 242 families. These are men and women, entrepreneurs who are ready to go into our business launch program. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm so passionate about the business launch program, and here's why. The business launch program represents a dream that's in the heart of an individual, of a father and a mother. And the dream is simply this: they do not want to sit in a line waiting for a handout. They don't want aid. They want to be empowered so they can chase their dreams and see their own communities transformed. And we believe business is one of the most powerful ways to do that. And so we're asking these entrepreneurs one simple question: what is your dream, and how do we help launch your dream? It's a one-time powerful gift that we give them, and it kickstarts their dream. Last year in Ethiopia, we saw family after family, lives completely changed because of the business launch program. Our local leader, Shiloh, and his team have put it together, and it's so brilliant and it's so innovative, and it's literally an African-led innovative opportunity to change the world. 242 families are going in the program this year. We're so excited about it. Also, we're thrilled because we understand education is by far one of the most important tools to see communities transformed. I was just in Haiti last week, in the Dominican Republic, with our local leaders, and every time we go into one of our countries, one of our communities, there's nothing probably more special than seeing kids show up to a school, to be educated, to be surrounded by a loving community, to have mentors who are helping them navigate the complexities of living in a community that suffers from extreme poverty. But each and every day, 142 full-time teachers show up because of your support, and they communicate to these kids the dream that this community can and will be transformed. And education is one of the most powerful weapons, thank you Nelson Mandela, that can do that. And so last week, even in Haiti, I was reminded, hundreds of kids, over 4,774 kids all over the world are being educated each and every day, and 142 full-time teachers. 142 full-time teachers are able to fulfill their dream of showing up to a school and educating and taking care of these kids to see extreme poverty eradicated. But also these 142 teachers are able to provide for their own family. They're able to use their education to give back to their community to help see progress and transformation. That is so powerful, and we are so thankful for that impact. And so education and Biz Launch program is absolutely two things we're excited about, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit in more detail. The third thing we wanted to talk to you about is this project that we're just passionate about. If you've met our local leader, John Leaks, you know he's one of the most brilliant leaders. He's really a mentor to me. He's really taught Help One Now many ways how to do the work that we're doing. Everything that we've learned as an organization hasn't come from a boardroom here in America. It's come from the field, listening and learning to the communities that we're a part of. And we basically ask questions, and we just say, how can we help you help your community? Because we want to be invisible, right? We want our footprint to be as small as possible. And whenever our footprint gets wider, that means the local footprint gets smaller. And we think that's a mistake, and it's tragic. And so we walk into a community and we say, how can we help you? And so John Leaks for many years has been saying, Chris, the one thing that's so hard in all of our communities is to have a secondary school. A school, typically kids will be able to go to a primary school, and right about 12, 13 years old, their education stops. and they'll leave primary school and they'll end up going to work in the fields or in the local shops, and they're not able to pursue their further education. And this is really in the stage of life where they're beginning to figure out who they are and what dreams they have. And they don't even get the opportunity to dream as young teenagers because they don't even have the ability to attend school. And so if you've been to Ferrier, you know we have a village and we rescued about 80 kids from preventative trafficking situations. And those kids are just doing amazing. 50 of them live in the village and the others have been reunited with their families. And we're so proud of that work. Then we started a preschool, and the preschool is unbelievable. Like, it's just wild. It's rare to see a healthy preschool thriving in a community. So to see young kids get an early childhood education is just so phenomenal. Then those kids go to a primary school, just like our kids do here in the States. And at that point, they stop. And so John Leaks has been asking me for years, Chris, we have to get a secondary school. And if we can build a secondary school, it's the final piece of the puzzle. 8 years of working in Ferrier, this is the next most important step so we can help fight poverty in that community. And last week, we were there. There's a massive school where this September, hundreds of kids will begin to go to school for the first time ever in this community to pursue their secondary education. For the next decade upon decade, these kids will get a chance to dream and learn and be in community together. They'll get a chance to be mentored and cared for by teachers, the local pastors, the local community leaders. And not only will this serve as a school by day, but at night, it'll be open to the community. We'll be having entrepreneur training, life skills training, all sorts of other beautiful activity will be taking place in Ferrier, all because a handful of professional athletes who play baseball said, you know what, Chris, we want to help make this dream become real. We want to help partner with Help One Now so John Leaks and his team will be able to see their dream fulfilled. And so it's happening. It's almost done. And this September, we're going to celebrate the grand opening of the school. And one of our passions is to build an org beyond our lifetime. And one of the ways that we do that is to build a structure that we know will last. And I know when it's over for me, whatever that day is, that this school will still last and kids will be being educated when we're no longer here. So Help One Now community, family, you have made this possible and you're helping us build an org that lasts beyond our lifetime. We are so excited and we can't wait. So one of the things we wanted to talk about today is really celebrate what took place last year, but also dream about what is taking place in the future. If you know the Help One Now board, they are some of the most tremendous people and they serve us so well. The board provides vision and leadership, not only for the day-to-day of Help One Now, but really as we dream about what it looks like to be an org that lasts beyond our lifetime, back to what we just talked about. Last year as a board, we sat down and we began to ask a simple question. What does the next 10 years of Help One Now look like? What do we want to accomplish as an organization? What's the most effective way that we can fight poverty? So we've taken the last 10 years of research and of spending time in these communities, and we put together what we believe was a compelling, powerful vision, and we believe this will be the most effective way to fight poverty. You're going to watch a video, and after that video, we're going to talk about the details of this new dream.
When the Help One Now Family Empowerment Team first met Ashke back in 2017, she was a single mom. She was living on less than 40 cents a day, and she was struggling to provide for her family. Ashke described her life in one word: alone. But like many of us, Ashke was a woman who had dreams. She had hopes to start her own business, and she wanted to build a home where she could raise her kids up to be successful adults. In the fall of 2017, Ashke entered the Help One Now Family Empowerment Program. Ashke began to develop a mindset of success. She began to believe in her ability to succeed and be able to overcome anything that might come her way. As 2017 came to a close, Ashke launched her own business. She opened a kiosk where she was selling vegetables and other goods to people in her community. and she was successful. I had the opportunity to sit down with Ashke and talk with her about her success. She was confident, she was saving for the future, and she was finding joy in things like spending time with her daughter. But in the summer of 2018, something terrible happened. Political unrest had been rising up in Ethiopia. In the midst of a protest one day, Ashke's shop was looted, set on fire, and burned to the ground. Imagine if the business that you had worked hard to build while you were pursuing your dreams was destroyed just in one day. I would be devastated, and I'd be struggling to believe that I can start over again and succeed again. But for Ashke, because of the confidence that she had been building up in the Family Empowerment Program, this was not the end of her story. Family empowerment isn't something that just ends with the start of a business. It's not this handout and pat on the back and well wishes, we hope that you succeed. It's a commitment to walk alongside each individual while they work hard to see flourishing in themselves and in their families. And it's in this partnership that cycles are broken and change is realized for families and countless others in their communities. When Ashke's business was destroyed, she refused to believe that this was the end for her. So she gathered up what she had left and she took it home. She started a little coffee shop outside of her home and began working hard to be able to provide for her family and save for the future again. But the business that she started wasn't big enough to be able to support her family. When Ashke met with the local empowerment team, she told them about everything that had happened with her business. In the previous months throughout the program, Ashke had built up trust with the empowerment team, and they could see that she was confident and that she was determined to succeed. So they gave her what she needed to be able to start her business again and gave her a little bit of savings so that she could start sending her daughter back to school again. Today, she's working hard in her business. She's beginning to build it back up. She's saving for the future, and she's able to provide for her family again. This road may be hard, and setbacks are expected, but Ashke can move forward, and she can move forward with confidence because she knows that the empowerment that she received runs deeper than just a few months of training. Ashke has changed her mindset, and she believes that she can succeed. She believes that she can overcome anything that may come her way because she knows she is capable of success.
Welcome back. Was that video not amazing? Ashke represents our passion to see families like hers transform through our business launch program. Also to see her kids be able to attend school and get a powerful education so they can chase their dreams. Ashke represents something so vital for us, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. FYI, if you want to ask any questions, we're going to spend about 10 minutes after we're done here just answering some of your questions that you may have. It could be questions on nonprofit, on Help One Now, any question that you want to ask us. There's a chat box below the video. If you just add that question right now, and we will queue that up and answer that question in just a few minutes. And so we would love to hear from you, and we're thankful for our tribe. And you are part owners in the story, and you're the reason why we're doing good around the world. So Ashke represents this passion, this deep passion that we've been asking ourselves. When we started Help One Now, it was 32 kids in Zimbabwe. And I remember staying awake night after night after night wondering if these kids were going to live. Zimbabwe at the time was on the verge of a civil war, and I knew our local leaders there, John and Orpa, had a big task on their hand. They had to get up every day and try to figure out how do we care for these 32 kids in the community. And back then, that vision seemed impossible. Like, I didn't know how to do that. As we began to dream about Help One Now, we were just dreaming about caring for 32 kids in Zimbabwe. And today, we're caring for 65,000 people each and every day. How does that happen? It happens because a tribe, a family, a community of people simply ask a question: how do we help? And then in our hearts, we have this burning desire to not see poverty win, but to overcome poverty by doing good. We believe doing good is simple and powerful, and we believe we found one of the most effective ways to do good possible. We've taken the last 10 years and we've asked another question. How does the next 10 years get better? Excited about the last 10 years. They've been amazing. If you spend time with our leaders in the countries that we serve, I just wish I could help. I wish you could all go and listen to the stories that we get to hear. They're so grateful. They're so thankful. They couldn't do what they do without your support and our support as an organization. But here's what they tell me each and every day. Tell the Help One Now community that we are thankful that they allow us to be high capacity local leaders, that they allow us to dream, that they allow us to go out and fulfill the vision, that they give us dignity by believing and trusting us. And because of that, the ROI for Help One Now is absolutely phenomenal. I'm so proud about it. Together as a board and our leaders, we begin to ask this question: in the next 10 years, what do we want to accomplish? And we simply believe that if we can keep families together, this will be the most important way that we can fight poverty. That if families are not broken apart, we can help see communities healthy and see these families sustained. When I first began to travel the world, it dawned on me that most of the time when we build an orphanage or a kid's home, the kids that are in that orphanage, they're not there because their parents don't love them. They're there because their parents don't have a choice. In other words, one of the greatest realities that we face is that the most loving thing many parents can do is to take their kid to an orphanage and ask for that orphanage to take care of their kids. And usually because of shame, they disappear into thin air. And it's heartbreaking. How do we avoid that moment? We avoid that moment by empowering families. And we do that through two ways: the business launch program and making sure these kids have access to education. So here's the big dream for the next 10 years. What if we empower 100,000 families around the world? We have the infrastructure and the ecosystem built out. We have some of the most brilliant leaders who are fighting for this every single day. It started with a dream in Ethiopia, and that dream is now spreading to each of our communities around the world. Matter of fact, last week I was with Rod and John Leeks and Shiloh. It was the first time we had brought one of our African leaders into the Caribbean. And Rod and John Leeks, after hearing the stories of impact and seeing how the family empowerment program works and the business launch program works, they both made a comment that I thought was powerful. They both said, this is a missing piece of the puzzle. This is what we finally need to do in order to see our communities become healthy and thrive. So the Family Empowerment Program is something that we're passionate about, and we know that we can help families launch businesses and help their kids be educated. We know we can sustain long-term health and momentum. That is a big dream, to impact 100,000 families around the world. But we believe big dreams become true because each and every day the Help One Now team, our leaders, and folks like you join together to make this dream become a reality. So this is what we're going to fight for the next 10 years. 100,000 families who will go through the Family Empowerment Program. Businesses will be launched. You just saw Ashkay's story. It's an amazing program. So that's the hope and the dream for the next 10 years. And we believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's the best way we can do the most good in the world. So that's 10 years. So what about this year? What about 2019? What are we up to this year? I want to talk to you about 2019 because 2019 is laying the foundation. And we believe if we're going to impact 100,000 people, 100,000 families around the world, we're going to have to build a deep, strong foundation. That foundation starts this year, and one of the ways it starts is May 7th. We're having our second annual Giving Day. This is super important to helping us launch this dream to impact 100,000 people. This is the one moment of the year where the entire Help One Now community, the entire Help One Now tribe can come together and celebrate and help supercharge our year as an organization. Matter of fact, we know Giving Day is so important, it will kind of make or break how quickly we can begin to implement the Family Empowerment Program across the world. We have leaders waiting for us to get started, and this year Haiti will be the first place we get started, and then most likely the Dominican Republic will be the second place, but this will spread in all of our communities over the next few years. May 7th is Giving Day, and we're trying to raise $250,000 to invest into these international programs for family empowerment. Here's how you can help us. Of course, you can give, because that's important. It's a one moment where we can all come together and in a unified way support Help One Out overall. The second is we need advocacy team, right? We need advocates. And last year, if you remember, the reason why Help One Now first Giving Day was successful is because advocates said, you know what, I'm willing to promote Giving Day. We did a 3-2-1 ask, and over 100 of you said yes to that, and it was absolutely amazing. The only reason we hit our goal last year is because this grassroots movement took place, and you all made it happen by asking others, your community, your churches, your co-workers, to get involved and help make an impact. So we would love for you to join the 2019 Giving Day Advocacy Team. This is really important, and the important links are available to you. The second thing we would love for you to do is serve as a corporate sponsor. How awesome would it be to go into Giving Day knowing we've already raised a specific amount of money? And so if you have a business or you're part of a corporation and you would like to sponsor Giving Day, this is a moment where you can leverage your marketing dollars to do good around the world. And so if you want to do that, please let us know. We'd love to jump on the phone and chat with you. Giving Day is basically just a little over a month from now. And so we have a lot of opportunity and a lot of momentum, and we cannot wait for May 7th. On May 7th, 1, pray, and 2, help share this opportunity with all of your family and friends. It is really, really important. The second thing we're doing is we're doing a fall tour. Actually, not a fall tour. We're doing tours because it starts this spring in Raleigh. And if you want a ticket, I have bad news for you. Our event here in Raleigh sold out in like 4 hours. Our amazing church partner, Church of Morgan, is throwing a massive party here in the city. And we're going to celebrate 10 years starting off here in Raleigh on May 3rd. May 3rd, yes, I forgot my dates. May 3rd. So, but that's going to start a tour, a 10-year anniversary tour. We'll be in Birmingham in the fall. We'll be back in Northwest Arkansas in the fall. Each year we're in Northwest Arkansas doing our gala. This will be our 10-year anniversary gala. We cannot wait for that. And I'm so excited to go back to Austin, Texas, and also do a gala in Austin, because it's the starting place where the story began. Many of you hopefully are watching this. You were those donors back in the day when we were just dreaming about those 32 kids, and we're going to go back to Austin and celebrate 10 years of doing good work. We cannot wait for that. And also, I cannot wait to eat breakfast tacos when I'm back in Austin, because these are very, very important things. So we are so thankful and so excited about these two opportunities. But there's a third opportunity that's really, really important. Matter of fact, we've been asking ourselves the question, how do we empower the Help One Now family, our supporters, our donors, our tribe? How do we empower them to be the storytellers in their community in a way where we don't have to show up to participate, but in a way where we can give you everything you need to invite your family and your friends and your neighbors and your coworkers, your small group, whatever you do, to invite them into the Help One Now story and to share with them about the Family Empowerment Program and to help them be a part of doing good around the world. And so this year, we're hoping that every single person will do one powerful activity, one powerful thing for us, and that is we want you to host a dinner party in your home. This is so important. The reason why people give to nonprofits is never the nonprofit. It's always because of you. You give us credibility and trust, and you extend an invitation into your network of your influence, and you invite them into the story. And when you invite them into the story, you're building a bridge from your community to Help One Now, and then we build a bridge from Help One Now into our leaders around the world. And so this year, we want you to throw a dinner party at your house. We have a toolkit set up for you, so it's to make it as easy as possible, and you become the storytellers. You can dream if you want a massive dinner party or a small intimate one, if you want to do desserts or maybe wine, whatever you want to do that will make your party great. But you can be the person that begins to communicate and share the family empowerment story. What I love about Help One Now is not only the good that we do all over the world, but also the good we do here in our homes, in our backyards. that we're able to connect our friends and our communities with our communities around the world. And together we do something significant, and together all of our lives are transformed, because in partnership we get a chance to see lives changed here in the States and all over the world, because we collaborate and partner together. So this year, please, please, please throw the best dinner party in the world at your house or wherever it's convenient for you. Again, the link is available, and if you have any questions, we will jump on the phone to help navigate how to do the best dinner party ever. Hopefully this has been a good moment for you. Hopefully you've enjoyed hearing data and stories and seeing impact. And now we're going to move into just a time of question and answer. So if you have a question for me or for anyone in the Help One Now team, let us know, and we're going to answer those questions right now. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to look at my phone, y'all. Everyone's yelling at me right now. Like, will you please actually? I'm like, where's it? Okay, I'm looking at my phone. Ready? Here's a question. I'm in the wrong channel. All right, question number 1. As you talk about the future, what do you see as the greatest threat towards Help One Now's work? Can you guys give me an easier question? We're going to start with the greatest threat in the world. Okay, so here's the reality, right? John Leaks. We're having dinner last week in Haiti, and we began to have this conversation about sustainability. What does it look like if something happens to Help One Now or to John Leaks and his ministry? Like, what does it mean to sustain good work around the world? And so we're constantly asking ourselves, what are the threats that we see? And so there's so many of them on one hand. Some we can't control. So many political issues around the world. Places like Haiti, if you've paid attention to the news, we're seeing just some really hard times in that country because of inflation is going crazy. But I think the two biggest threats are obviously always the economics. Will there be a shift in economics here stateside? We know when that happens, our donors, no matter how generous you are, you still have to make hard decisions on how to take care of yourself and your family, but also still be generous. And of course, the political landscape. In 2016, we went through a really hard time as an organization just because of politics and kind of the chaos that it created. Not directly to Help One Now, but just the way that a lot of our attention has to focus on in those key moments in our country. And so those are probably the two greatest threats. And rest assured, we're having those questions. We're trying to be really wise as an organization too. What does it look like to have savings? So that way, if we ever have economic downturns, we can sustain the work that we're doing on the ground. So we're working through that. It's a great question. Thank you for answering it. And let's hope it never happens in real life. Okay, just kidding. All right, second question. This seems like a great impact. What was the key to pulling it off? Oh man. So last week we saw this magical moment. We were, the Help One Now team met with 3 of our local leaders and their teams. They represent hundreds of brilliant people. And then we had 2 of our most significant donors who we love and cherish and care for, and they have fueled much of the work that we're doing as an organization. So I think there's 3 key ingredients to making the impact, and it's our high capacity local leaders. They're running hard each and every day, doing what they can to make the world better, to take the funds that we give them and to maximize those funds to make the greatest impact. And if you spend time in our community, you typically hear these kinds of thoughts. Wow, how is so much happening in this community? It's because our leaders are brilliant and they're leading the way. Second key to that is the Help One Now team. I'm so proud of our team, our board. Vocationally, they're dedicated each and every day to solving some of these problems through their expertise, whether it's the international team or the operations team with systems and making sure we're efficient. Our creative communication team is making sure we do webinars and webcasts and videos, and all of these things come together to create like a beautiful storyline so we can get the story out to you, our amazing donors, our supporters, our advocates. You pray, you go, you advocate, and you give. And it's because of you tie, it's like the perfect formula to create impact around the world. So our local leaders, the Help One Now team and board, and our donors make it possible for us to have an impact around the world. All right, another question. What is the most effective way for me to make an impact with Help One Now moving forward? The most effective way? Man, that's a very direct question. I think we just talked about it. Here's what I'll say. Doing good requires us living a life of intentionality. You don't accidentally do good in the world. You don't accidentally make an impact. We have plans for everything. We have vocational plans, family plans, financial plans. Have you ever wondered why we don't have an impact plan? We actually don't think enough about what it means to do good and make a difference. And yet when it's all said and done, one of the most important questions we will ask at the end of our life will be, what kind of legacy did I leave? Did I make an impact? Did I use my gifts, talents, passions, and resources to make the world better? And so I would be intentional, and then I would get involved in one of these key things that we talked about. Throw a dinner party, come to one of our galas, advocate for us, and be a part of Giving Day. But also, anything that we've ever done at Help One Now has typically happened because one of our donors and supporters has said, hey, have you ever thought about this? And so not only are you givers and goers and advocates, but you've also helped innovate. And so if you have a great idea, let us know about that idea. We'd love to hear from you so you can help shape the future of Help One Now together. 2019 is going to be great. And when we do this, when we become intentional on doing this, we're going to build a foundation so we can make sure in 10 years, when we're celebrating 20 years, when we talk about the data, when we talk about 100,000 families empowered, it's going to be because we lived intentional lives together for the previous 10 years. With a new focus on families, what does that mean for my child sponsorships? Whoever asked that question, you're making my life hard right now. We've decided to do away with child sponsorships. I'm totally kidding. I mean, seriously. Everyone's looking at me right now in my office like, what are you doing? Child sponsorships is powerful, right? Actually, to be honest, one of the reasons why we're able to do family empowerment program is because those of you who sponsor a child stabilize all the work on the ground. So our leaders can dream big dreams and find even more effective solutions to fight poverty, which is why family empowerment is being rolled out. It gives us the stability. But we also believe there's ways we can innovate our child sponsorship program. What if we can empower 3 kids instead of 1 kid? That's a question we've been asking lately. I don't have the answers yet, but sometime this year, we're going to ask that question. We believe our child sponsorship program has much room for innovation, but for now, our child sponsorship program is the stabilizing factor to make sure we can chase the dreams that we have for the next 10 years. So when you sponsor a kid, you're creating that stability. And when you ask others to join in a sponsorship, you're creating greater stability. All right. Next question. What would you say is the organization's greatest achievement would be in 2018? Okay. It's great. Wow. A lot. We've done a lot, y'all. We've done so to be very clear, we've done a lot of amazing work. And we've also failed, right? There's just no way to do everything. You can't succeed all the time in the space that we're in. But I think our greatest achievement this year has been clarifying our vision and rolling out the family empowerment program to all of our leaders, because what we've seen in their hearts is this moment where they know it could be the most important thing that they've done in their communities to see poverty alleviated. Our leaders are so excited because this vision came from one of our leaders, and now it's being spread to our other leaders. And so for them to have hope that families can go through a business launch program, and with a one-time grant, they can kickstart their future forever, it alleviates the stress and pressure points of our leaders. Oftentimes in our space, we do work that requires year after year after year funding, and that can be overwhelming because you feel the pressure even from our leaders. But the business launch program is a one-time opportunity to transform a family forever. So I think that has brought tremendous peace for the future. So as we continue to sustain all the current things that need to be done, our leaders can begin to find freedom in the future as they dream really big in their communities. Oh, I scrolled the wrong way. What were some of the things you learned in 2018? I learned that the Help One Now community is awesome. And I mean that. I really, really mean that. You all are so faithful, so loyal. Other nonprofit leaders come to me all the time asking, how have we done what we've done? And I just always say, we have brilliant leaders and we have the most faithful community of supporters. And year after year after year, you continue to support us, and we're so thankful for your support. We've learned so much through our local leaders. We've learned so much when we arrive in a community and we listen and we don't try to talk a lot. But we've also learned so much just spending time with you in galas and events and in places around the world. And you guys are thoughtful and you want to make a difference and you're faithful. And we're so thankful for just all the moments that we get together throughout the year, because we know you go back and you work really hard to create a life where you have the opportunity to be generous. And I can tell you, we're just blown away every single week when people continue to just give. Last year you gave X, and then this year it goes up. And it's like, this is amazing. Here's what's amazing about it. There are so many folks in the Help One Now ecosystem who are sacrificially giving in ways that it costs them something. Like we feel the weight that when you give, it costs you something. And you're willing to sacrifice to make the world better and to see our leaders' dreams come true. So thank you so much for that. All right. Can we get feedback on family empowerment success stories? That's a good question. I'm not sure how to answer this, actually. I'm a little stumped. Here's what I would say. If I got to make sure I understand the question. Who's looking for feedback on this? I'm getting an update on my phone, y'all, just to make sure I answer it correctly. So feedback, any feedback you want, connect with the Help One Now team. We've seen some of the most amazing stories happen around the world. Last year I was in Ethiopia with our partners in Ethiopia, and we spent time with dozens and dozens of families whose lives were changed. One of the things I would encourage you to do is stay up with our Instagram and our social media. We have a YouTube channel where we load these stories up. We know it's hard to get more information. So there's just so much going on in the world, but take some time out and enjoy these stories of impact, because it's the fruit of your sacrifice that's creating these moments. And so throughout this year, we'll be rolling out more opportunities for you to see lives who have been transformed because of your generosity. So just stay connected to our social media account, our blogs, and it's a way for you to kind of hear or show up to one of our events, the tours that we'll have this fall and here in Raleigh. And these are just moments. And if you want to see it in real life, if you want to actually show up to a community, you know we don't do public trips, right? We don't just open it up to anyone. But for those who are part of the Help One Now ecosystem, you support the work that we're doing, you believe in the model, we would love for you to come with us to one of our countries, spend time with our leaders, listen to their stories, and literally see the impact that you're having around the world, like there in real time. There's no greater way of seeing that impact. All right, y'all. We are so thankful for you. We've had a lot of success in 2018. We have big dreams for the next 10 years. We know we have a long way to go as an organization, so thank you for being faithful and loyal. Thank you for believing and trusting. Thank you for helping push us forward so that we can do the most good possible in the next years. You all know we've had these kind of two sayings. One comes from our local leader in Ethiopia, and it says, "Together we build." And another comes from our community in Uganda. It says, "Struggle for progress." And so each and every day we get up to struggle for progress, to make the world better, to push the vision forward, because we know together we are building a better world. Thank you for everything you've done for Help One Now in 2018, and we can't wait to dream big dreams with you all for the next decade. Have a good day.